Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have a review and demo for you. I was so excited to see that e.l.f. came out with a beauty sponge trio to rival the infamous Beauty Blender. So I figured I would do a little demo for you guys and give you my honest thoughts on what I thought about that. Just stay tuned to the end of the video and you can see me using all 6 of the sponges. I'll give you a quick breakdown for them now. e.l.f. recently released it's called Beautifully Precise Precision Sponge Trio. It comes with three sponges, different sizes. You got the Papa Bear, you got the Mama Bear, and then you got the Baby Bear. So there's like 3 sponges. I'm sorry that they're dirty because I already did the demo. This values for $12 on islipsface.com. I will link it below. So you can see how much they've grown because they're already wet. So they go into here. It comes in, you know, in a box, and you can see how much they've grown based on not being, I'm about to rip the Beauty Blender, based on not fitting back into the packaging. So they have grown quite a bit from getting them wet. These sponges are made for makeup application, foundation, concealer, blush, highlighter. You're going to see in my demo that I use the big sponge for foundation, the medium sponge for highlighter, and the baby sponge for concealer. I did compare these sponges to their rival sizes in the Beauty Blender, and this is the large Beauty Blender for foundation, the medium one for cheek products like blush and highlighter, and the little baby one for concealer. So let me show you real quick the size differences. Now the Beauty Blender, now these are all wet. These have all been dampened. The Beauty Blender is a little bit slimmer and a little longer, and the point is a little bit more defined, but I didn't find that to be much of an issue when I was applying the foundation. When you squish both of them, the big one from e.l.f. is a little bit more dense, but when I applied my foundation with it, it did not affect it. So I'm going to talk about that during the application process. This is a little bit more dense than this one. They're both very soft, but like I said, this one's a little bit more dense. The medium sponges are a lot closer than the larger sponges, I would say. This is a little bit fatter. I mean, they're more close to the same size. Again, this one is a little bit more dense than this one. They are both very soft and squishy, and yeah, so that's that. And then you have the little micro sponges. This one is a little bit bigger than this one, and again, a little bit more dense. Now, the product is made to function similarly, but the formula isn't identical, and that's why it's a little different. Of course, Beauty Blender is patented, so that's why you're gonna have a difference in the texture. The Beauty Blender sponges go for a much higher cost than the e.l.f. sponges. The e.l.f. sponges are a whopping $12 for all 3 sponges, and that's an amazing value, where all 3 Beauty Blender sponges cost $54. Now technically the Beauty Blender itself is $20, the medium sized blender is $16, and then the micro sponges are 2 for $18, but you can't buy them singularly, or else you couldn't when I looked online. So you're spending $54 to get all 3 of these when you're spending $12 to get all 3 of these. So for people on a budget, or for people that just don't want to spend $18 on a sponge, it's a great deal. Okay guys, I'm gonna go and cut to the footage of me using these sponges, so just stay tuned. And yeah, have you subscribed yet? Yeah, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, go watch the footage. Okay guys, we're gonna get started. Let me just prime my face real quick. I'm gonna use the Murad Oil Control Mattifier. This is the primer I always use, so I just wanna stay consistent with how I apply my foundation so I can really put the sponges to the test, you know? Today I'm going to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear Cushion Stick Radiant Makeup, because I can apply this directly to my skin, and then I could do the whole Beauty Blender comparison. Alright, so let's put this all over. I love this foundation, by the way, you guys. I have mentioned this in my favorites videos before. This is the size difference in the 2, and now I've wet them. Okay, so let me start using this. On the right side of my face, I'm going to use the sponge from e.l.f. The sponges from e.l.f., if you will. Okay. Now I definitely feel a difference in softness, like denseness almost. Like this is more dense than this, but the way it's applying the foundation, I can't hate that because, hello, it's looking nice. Like, seriously. This sponge, I mean the 3 of them are $12. Like, one beauty blender is $20. So I would say that blended my makeup awesome. I mean, just the way I would expect a sponge to do so. Now I'm gonna go in with the beauty blender on the other side to see if, you know, as I do it, I recognize a difference. The beauty blender, like I said, is definitely a lot like smushy. Like this is smushy, but this is definitely firmer and denser than the beauty blender. The beauty blender is definitely softer. Then I get foundation where my eyeshadow is. That's not cute. That's not a good look. The beauty blender is definitely softer. Yeah, it's definitely softer, but honestly, you guys, I feel like it's doing the same job. I don't feel like, holy mackerel, it's not doing a good job. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like the e.l.f. sponge did less of a good job, even though it is just a fraction of the price. I mean, technically this sponge is $4 versus $20, so, you know, I can't complain about that. Okay, let's move on to the tiny little sponges. These are the littlest ones in the group, and we're gonna put on my concealer with this. So today I'm gonna use my NARS Creamy Concealer in Vanilla. So let's go under the eyes with that, and this is something I use all the time. First, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. little sponge. See how that works? This definitely feels like the same consistency as the big sponge, as the Mama Bear. Actually, that would be like the Papa Bear. This would be the Baby Bear, and then the middle-sized one would be the Mama Bear. So let's say that this is the Baby Bear. And let's get up here. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the Beauty Blender side. The Beauty Blender smushes just a little bit easier the tip. So it's a little easier to smush the tip in to the corner of my eye over here. I have to be honest. That's just like a very it's not a big deal though, honestly. And up here feels the same. If anything, I like this one a little bit better for the top because the sponge is able to hold its form when I'm going around my eyebrows. This one, it smushes a little bit more, and I have to be a little bit more careful on my forehead, honestly. So that is definitely a win for the e.l.f. sponge. What I'm going to do now is finish my makeup, and then we're going to test out the medium sponges on highlighter. So that's what we'll do to end it. So just give me a second. Lastly, we're gonna try out the cheek beauty blenders, the e.l.f. one and the blush one from Beauty Blender itself. So I'm going to start off with the e.l.f. one. Today we're gonna use this Ofra a highlighter in Rodeo Drive. So it's a pretty gold. And we're just going to put some on the sponge. Ooh. Let's have at it. Well, that's really making my highlighter pop, huh? Holy moly. Well, it's definitely blending it nicely. Actually really like this application. It's really nice. It's pretty. Okay, so let's go to the Beauty Blender side. Holy mackerel Andy. Highlighter City. I think I went a little highlighter crazy, but you guys get the point. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today, reviewing the contrast between the e.l.f. sponges and the Beauty Blender Original. Honestly, I would say that for $12, the 3 of these sponges are definitely worth the cost. I would say definitely give a shot to the e.l.f. sponges. I think these are really highly comparable. They're not as squishy, but they're just squishy enough. I mean, the small one and the medium sized one were definitely a little bit squishier than the large one, because the large one was so big that it was a little bit more dense, but for all intents and purposes, all three of these performed fantastically. I absolutely love them and highly recommend them. And if you don't have $20 to spend on the big sponge, $16 to spend on the medium sponge, and $18 for two of the little ones, because from last I checked, they don't sell the minis alone. You have to buy two, and they're 2 for $18. That's a huge price difference. And for somebody on a budget, or for somebody that's not looking to spend this much money on sponges, this is definitely a competitor, and I would absolutely give it a shot. So I have to give it a thumbs up, like I have to do it. It applied my makeup beautifully, and I highly recommend it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.